Here is the text you requested, formatted to match your previous style. Section 1. Hey guys, tonight we wander into the warm night air of Medellin, where the city lights flicker beneath dark mountain ridges, and somewhere in the maze of concrete houses a man is hiding, a man the entire country has been searching for. You move quietly through narrow streets where stray dogs sleep beside cracked sidewalks, and distant motorbikes echo between the buildings. This is the final chapter of a long manhunt, the kind where everyone knows the name of the fugitive but almost no one knows where he is. If you listen closely, you might even imagine the faint buzz of radios and whispered conversations drifting through the darkness. Because tonight, something is about to end. And honestly, if you had to live like this, constantly moving, constantly hiding, you probably wouldn't survive this very long. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you're settling in, let me know your location and local time in the comments. It's always fascinating to see where everyone is listening from around the world. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You find yourself standing in a quiet Medellin neighborhood sometime in the early 1990s. The night air feels warm and slightly humid, the kind that clings gently to your skin. Above you, the mountains rise like dark walls surrounding the city, their outlines barely visible against the sky. Medellin never truly sleeps, but in this neighborhood, the streets feel almost peaceful. Laundry hangs from balconies, barely moving in the still air. A single light glows from a second-floor window. Somewhere in the distance, music plays softly from a radio. But beneath this ordinary calm lies tension so thick you can almost feel it. For years, Colombia has been living under the shadow of a man named Pablo Escobar. By the early 1990s, he has become one of the most wanted fugitives in the world. Entire police units exist for one purpose alone: finding him. This is a well-known historical fact. Escobar once controlled such a large portion of the global cocaine trade that he was considered one of the richest criminals in history. And yet tonight, instead of luxury estates and armed convoys, he is hiding in ordinary houses like this one. You walk slowly along the street in your imagination, passing small homes with metal doors and narrow windows. The neighborhood looks modest: working families, small shops, uneven sidewalks. Nothing about this place suggests that one of the most hunted men on earth might be hiding here. That is exactly why it works. Escobar has learned that the safest place to hide is often the most ordinary one. A flickering streetlight hums softly overhead. The yellow glow creates long shadows that stretch across the pavement. Somewhere nearby, a television murmurs behind closed curtains. You pause beside a small concrete house with a flat roof. The paint is faded. The windows are dark. Inside, somewhere behind those walls, a man might be listening to the same night sounds you hear: distant traffic, barking dogs, wind brushing against loose wires. You imagine him sitting quietly, perhaps near a small table or a simple bed. Not a kingpin now, not a legend, just a man waiting and listening. One odd detail often mentioned by investigators is that Escobar sometimes preferred simple meals while hiding, things like bread, soup, or basic rice dishes, foods that drew little attention if neighbors happened to notice grocery deliveries. It is strange to think that one of the most powerful criminals in the world might spend evenings eating quietly in a dimly lit room, hoping not to be noticed. The city outside continues as usual. A car passes slowly, headlights sliding across the walls before disappearing around a corner. The sound fades quickly. You stand in the darkness and feel the stillness of the moment, the sense that something important is approaching, even if no one on this street fully realizes it. Somewhere else in Medellin, police officers are awake tonight. Radios crackle softly in parked vehicles. Maps lie open on dashboards. Coffee grows cold in paper cups. They have been searching for years. Years of raids, informants, surveillance, and false leads. And now the search is tightening. You can almost imagine invisible lines slowly closing around this neighborhood, investigators comparing notes, technicians studying signals, officers waiting for the next clue. Scholars still argue whether Escobar truly believed he could remain hidden indefinitely, or whether he understood that the search would eventually end like this, with the circle slowly closing. The city itself seems unaware. A breeze moves through the streets, carrying the faint smell of cooking and dust. Curtains shift slightly in open windows. Somewhere a child turns in sleep. Somewhere a radio switches off. And somewhere nearby, perhaps only a few houses away, a man listens carefully to every sound outside, wondering if tonight will be the night. You remain in the quiet darkness, watching the still street and the dim windows, feeling the slow rhythm of the sleeping city. Nothing dramatic happens yet. No sirens. No shouting. No flashing lights. Just the warm Medellin night and the sense that history is quietly moving forward, one small moment at a time. Soon the search will narrow. Soon the signals will begin to point toward a single place. But for now, you simply stand in the calm before the ending, in a quiet neighborhood where the final chapter has already begun, even if no one can see it yet. And somewhere behind a darkened window, a telephone waits silently. Would you like me to continue this narrative into the climactic moments of the search, or would you prefer a summary of the events that followed this specific night?